With national polls just weeks away, India's protesting farmers are back on the streets. They're hoping for a repeat of 2021. That's when Prime Minister Narendra Modi repealed controversial farm laws after more than a year of mass protests. They're now demanding higher prices for their crops. They say that they're struggling to make money as climate change and rising costs eat into their profits. The situation has even prompted some farmers to move abroad. Rebecca Bundhun with this report.
Satinder Singh is a fourth-generation farmer. He'd been farming here since he was a child. But last year he decided to move to Adelaide in Australia to do farming work for a large company instead, because he wasn't making enough money in India.
मुश्किल तो बहुत है सानू जी जिवें डीजल बढ़ गया जी दवाइयां आ गई जी ते सोका ते डोबा सानू मारदा जी.
Satinder says he has managed to pay off his farm loans of about $12,000 with his overseas earnings. He's back in Punjab on leave, but he plans to return to Australia and stay there permanently and eventually take his family with him. The woes that Satinder faced are common to many of the farmers who are taking part in protests to demand a legal guarantee on minimum support prices for their crops. They are also seeking other benefits, including debt relief and pensions.
उसमें सरकार ने जिस दिन 3 कानून वापस लिए थे तो उसमें 9 दिसंबर को चिट्ठी लिखी थी केंद्र ने कि हम आपको एमएसपी गारंटी कानून बना के देंगे, उसके लिए कमेटी बना दी थी.
The demonstrations come as the Prime Minister will seek re-election for a third term in a matter of weeks. But these farmers from Punjab were stopped at the state border when they tried to march to New Delhi with their tractors. About half of India's population depend on agriculture for their livelihoods, and that means that farmers are an important voting bloc. And the protesters here are all well aware of their ability to put pressure on the Narendra Modi government ahead of general elections. Official statistics show that farmers' incomes only increased by an average of 2.8% a year between 2015 and 2019. While India's economy grew by 8.4% in the last 3 months of 2023, the agriculture sector contracted by 0.8%. Analysts say the problems in the sector are deep-rooted.
There's a huge distress that prevails, and that prevails over the decades. It's not something that has been newly happening. So I think it should be very clear that the Indian farmer is at the bottom of the pyramid. You know, the average income of farmer is so low that, you know, it is even lower than the wages of the daily wage workers.
But some economists say that introducing minimum support prices across all crops will not necessarily be a viable solution. For one, these rates can distort the market and feed into inflation. And the subsidies could also be a burden on public finances. All this means the farm unions and government have failed to reach an agreement despite several rounds of talks. Satinder says he's been fortunate to have the opportunity to move abroad. Not all farmers managed to solve their debt problems.
जिन्नी साडी फसल होंदी है जी ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਆਜ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਵਿਆਜ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਵੀ ਸੰਤੁਲਨ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਸੰਤੁਲਨ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਸਾਈਡ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ.
Official data shows that more than 11,000 farmers committed suicide in India in 2022. These farmers are determined to have their voices heard. But while the government ended up rolling back 3 new agriculture laws in 2021, following a year-long protest by farmers in the capital, so far it hasn't shown any signs of giving in to their latest demands. Rebecca Bundhun, CNA, Shambhu in Punjab.